All right. Buccaneers lose to the Baltimore Ravens here, in a game that the final score will make it seem maybe closer than it actually was, as the Buccaneers are able to, I'll say this, show some real fight in the fourth quarter, right? We all like to sit here and call it garbage time and stat padding and all that, but at the end of the day, that's just not how I see it. Certainly in this game, it's not how I see it. Maybe that's rose-colored glasses. I thought this was Tampa Bay really just doing what they could, not wanting to call it quits, and, maybe some confidence moving forward into what will be a huge game against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm conflicted in this one, because on one hand, Lamar Jackson's probably the MVP through 7 weeks of the season at this point. The Ravens are one of the, I think, four best teams. I'd say one of the three best teams in football. I think the Lions, the Ravens, and the Chiefs are the best three. I'd put, maybe you can also say that the Vikings are in that conversation as well. They're up there, for sure. But the Ravens, they're one of the best teams in football. Lamar Jackson is great. And again, usually when my team loses, I want to start off praising the team that won. Really good performance here by Baltimore. At the same time, again, losing to the Ravens is fine. Losing to the Ravens is absolutely fine. They're a really good football team, and they dominate the NFC because NFC teams aren't used to playing a team like the Ravens. They're such a unique team. If you don't see them a lot, you're just not used to playing them. Although Tampa Bay has seen them a bit. A couple years ago, I was at a game when they played the Ravens, and it went pretty similar to how this one went. That being said, the Buccaneers didn't play well. We can sit here all we want and say, well, like Baltimore this and Baltimore that, but the Buccaneers had unforced errors. This Ravens defense hasn't looked great to start the year, and again, the overall numbers are going to look all right for Tampa Bay, but through a large part in this game, they were getting just nothing going up until the Ravens kind of backed off and said, hey, we'll give you some yards as long as we don't give up the big play, which Tampa Bay took advantage of really well in the fourth quarter, but it was too late at that point. The Mike Evans injury is, I think, where we have to start off with, who, he just means a lot to this team, and when you can now double Godwin, there isn't a lot else left. And first off, the Evans injury just sucks. We all want him to get 1,000 yards. We all like watching him play out there. Had he been healthy, you get that second touchdown already. He'd be, top 10 in touchdowns all time. Such a cool moment for him that it just couldn't happen due to the injury. Hopefully it's not an extended injury, because that could be it for the 1,000 yards if he misses time. I think he's at 350, somewhere around there as of right now. So he already wasn't on pace, and now with an injury, that sucks. That sucks. Baker's got to protect the football better. It's frustrating because Baker had such a good first quarter, and you see why he was an MVP candidate entering this game, and you also see why he won't be after tonight, because those two interceptions were just brutal. And this was a winnable game. Winnable might be tough, but this was a competitive game at that point. The Buccaneers were up 4 points, they're up 3 points. It was 10-7 in the end zone. It's a second down and goal at the 3-yard line. You got to score a touchdown there. You got to go up 10. Lamar's going to come and he's going to get his yards. He's going to get his points. You have to keep scoring. That's how you beat Lamar Jackson. You don't beat Lamar Jackson by playing defense, because he's going to get his points against anybody but Kansas City, right? So you have to make sure that you keep scoring yourself. And that was Mayfield's strategy, I think. That's why he threw those bad interceptions. But, you can't turn the ball over. And turning the ball over into end zone especially it's a bad play. And then throwing into double coverage to Godwin, that was just a frustration interception, I thought. Trying to make something happen on 3rd and 13. That's one of those where, okay, as much as I'm sitting here and saying you got to keep scoring, don't make it easier on the Ravens offense. Your defense still can get stops. Maybe not consistently, but it still can happen. So, again, Mayfield's got to play better. He's been playing better all year. It was really cool to see kind of the emergence, but Mayfield's not going to play great every single week. This was a down week for Mayfield. He'll turn it around next week against Atlanta. I'm not too worried, but I am worried about this receiving core, which couldn't get open much at all once we saw that, once they had the injury to Mike Evans. Godwin had 44 yards. Mike Evans was still the second leading wide receiver in this game. They had White, and Irving all had more yards than any of the receivers, but then it's Godwin, Evans, and then Palmer was next on that list. So, that's concerning. That's concerning for sure. You got to find ways to get guys more open. So that's got to happen. We got to talk about Todd Bowles, who, not a great game. I don't know. I'm not going to crush Todd Bowles for this game. I know he's going to get the criticism when you're the defensive guy and you give up over 40 points. I get it. I'm not like going to fight back if you're mad at Todd Bowles, but at the same time, like, I think this is more of a situation with they're constructed, how the Buccaneers are constructed. I mean, you have a situation where, like, this was my criticism going into the season with the Bucs was, okay, you're going into the season with Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum as your two corners. I was already concerned about that because I like Jamel Dean, but I'm like, is he going to be able to be a number one corner now that Carlton Davis is gone? So far, he's looked like he's a very good number two corner who can sometimes struggle against number one corners. But the other concern I had was, is Zion McCollum going to step up and be like a true number two corner? He's played great. Zion McCollum's been great. He did give up a long touchdown, which I actually didn't even think was his fault. I thought that was a miscommunication, which I guess still kind of is his fault, but at least it's not like he just got burned, I should say. But, other than that, with Zion McCollum, he's played very well, had that big, really fun, what was almost a touchdown fumble recovery, which was fun. But, okay, Zion McCollum's hit, but the other concern I had, not just could Jamel Dean be a number one, could Zion McCollum be a number two, but where's the depth in this secondary? Because guys get injured. That's what happens in the NFL, and we always talk about stars, but football is a sport about depth, and this team does not have Tyreek Thunderberg. Like, I'm sorry, like, he's a undrafted free agent for a reason. And I don't think he's played like horrible for what you expect, but like that happened as well. Also, I'm recording this while the game is just finishing up, and I see that Chris Godwin is injured, so that's not good. That sucks. If we're without Godwin and Evans, this isn't a playoff team. I mean, that's not good at all. I mean, in garbage. I mean, and why are the starters still even out here, down 10 points with 50 seconds left? I mean, this is going from bad to worse. Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Well, I mean, Zion McCollum, I thought, played well for the most part. I'm trying to put a positive spin on this. There isn't positive spins to have. I mean, again, give credit to the Ravens for winning, but I mean, this is a team that can't afford these injuries. And going up against Atlanta, a team that lit us up defensively, they're going to light us up again. I see no reason why that's going to change. Got to put up points with a really banged up receiving core. I don't know. Maybe, is it crazy to say maybe go after a DeAndre Hopkins, right? Who, while we have our injuries, again, hopefully Godwin isn't out for too long. That sucks. But like, if they can get healthy, maybe, Hopkins can hold us over until then, and then we have all three of them. I don't know. That's what I'm going to tell myself just to make myself feel better, because this sucks. This is a bad loss. This is one of the worst losses in the Mayfield era. It's probably the worst one. I mean, we started off 3-7 last year, so probably one of those losses was worse. But like, this is tough. I mean, we went into this game, I didn't expect to win. I really didn't. I didn't think we were going to win. But I went into this game saying, can we hang with the big dogs? And the answer is no, and that just sucks. We're still a team that has a chance to win the division. Playing Atlanta next week, that might be for the division. If we lose that game, being a game back, playing the Chiefs and the 49ers the following 2 weeks, and not having the tiebreaker against Atlanta, and that might be the way to make the playoffs, because there's so many good wild card teams in the NFC. You might have to win the division. It's tough right now. Very disappointing loss. Again, the flip side is, if we can get healthy, if these receiving injuries aren't as bad as we maybe think, then hopefully we can, hopefully we can get something going, because, at least Atlanta doesn't look that great right now either. But yeah, very disappointing loss for a game that felt very, very winnable. I mean, the first quarter was so great. We were up 10-0. I was ready to say, like, yes, this is the Buccaneers team we wanted to see. I can't believe how poorly the last 45 minutes went, from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. Devastating stuff here. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.